as you just said, my name is Malcolm Harper. I'm terribly old and even more disorganized. And I'm also utterly terrified because the TFN people and Chris have been saying, you've got to shave off 2 seconds or 3 seconds. I'm used to lecturing for an hour and a half. So I will hand over to Chris, who is far more informed than I am, and I will try to answer any of your easy questions afterwards.
Thank you very much, Malcolm. I'll get you during the questions, just you see. I'm Christopher Pouncey, one of the trustees, Malcolm's trustees, and I've been working with him for 15, nearly 20 years now, I suppose. And as you can see from this slide up on the screen, our charity, FOCO, focuses solely upon children in Orissa. And tonight what I want to do is talk to you about the railway children of Orissa. And I can probably express this best by showing you what I call the 4 R's. And the 4 R's mean that we want to rescue children in Orissa who run away from home, ending up on railway platforms, and then we want to reunite them with their families. Not an easy job. Let's have a look at the background. It's a huge, huge problem in India today. There are 11 million street children and railway kids in total. And in Orissa alone, 100 children are reckoned to run away from home every day. And because India has such a fantastic railway system and this is so accessible to kids, it's the natural choice for them to jump on a train, which means, of course, that they end up on a railway platform where they are extremely vulnerable to all sorts of ne'er-do-wells, to child kidnappers, to sexual abusers, to drug gangs, and so on and so on. So it's a big, big problem, but we're trying to do something about it and have been for the last 3 years. So in 2012, FOCO helped Soch to find, helped a young man called Manoj Kumar to found an organisation called SOCH, the Society for Children, which focuses entirely upon this problem of kids on railway platforms. Now, you may well be thinking, haven't I heard about railway charities before, and perhaps thinking of one in particular, but 2 points here, please. First of all, we are the only charity working in Orissa, India, just below Calcutta, as you can see. And the second point is that we work solely upon the platforms. We may change our focus in the future, but at the moment, that's what we do. So how do they work? Well, the main rule of this charity is to get to the children before the abusers do. That means we need teams working on the platforms, teams of outreach workers, young, uniformed ones, and in the middle there, on that screen, the one in the white shirt you can see is Manoj Kumar himself, the founder, an inspirational young man who's doing fantastic work. So they patrol the platforms, and they get to the kids first, and they try to gain their confidence, and then they take them to a shelter somewhere, typically 100 meters or so from the platform, and there they have the chance to get emergency care, so a wash, some food, a bit of first aid if they need it, even some clothes if they haven't got them. And at the end of it all, they meet with a counsellor who tries to find out why they ran away in the first place. Meanwhile, other members of the team are trying to trace the family of the kid. And quite often this is a lot easier than you might think, because almost all of India is connected on mobile phones these days. When that's done, they attempt, if everything is well, to reunite the child with the family, and that's by inviting the parents and all the responsible carers down to the shelter, where under the watchful eye of Soch staff, a reunion takes place, and then there's follow-up at 1 month and 3 months by telephone to make sure that everything's okay. We couldn't do this work if it wasn't for partnerships with some major organisations down there. And the first one is the Child Welfare Committee. It's a state body that is responsible for all kids in India, but in particular in Orissa. We also work with the railway police, and we work with station staff. So we're working with taxi drivers and tuk-tuk drivers and the guys who cook the chapati on the station platform. All of these form a network that feeds into Soch and helps us to identify children that might have escaped our net, so to speak. Here's a little case history. This is young Hussein, 12-year-old Hussein, who ran away from Dhaka in Bangladesh, amazingly, and somehow crossed the border into India. We still don't know how. And then, unfortunately, when he got to Calcutta, he was effectively kidnapped, taken down to the south of India, and put into forced labour. Well, he's a bright little spark, and he didn't like that much, so he ran away again and jumped on another train and headed north. And when he got to Bhubaneswar, one of our team picked him up, took him to the shelter, managed to find his uncle, reunited him with his family. So, from a standing start in 2012, when we started our first station on the main capital of Orissa, which is called Bhubaneswar Station, we've grown it. And we now have 3 teams at 3 stations in Uganda, and we're rescuing, I've got to speed up here, sorry for gabbling. We've rescued over 1,600 children. They're mostly boys in the 15 to 18-year-old group, but we have all sorts, so from quite tiny tots through to older ones. And we're happy to say that 80% have been reunited on the latest figures with their families. So our mission today is to ask for your help to open a fourth station at a temple city on the Bay of Bengal called Puri. 8 kids a day are arriving there, according to a survey we've conducted, and we estimate therefore we can rescue 750 children in a full operating year at a cost of under £25 and needing a budget for the station of £17,000 to open. So I'm coming right to the end here. I'm under time pressure, so I've got a gavel. I'm going to deliver some outrageous puns, and I'm looking for support from you for some very loud groans. So here we go. Thank you very much for this platform today. Thank you. We've come a long way. You could say we're on track, but we want to go further. We want to drive this project down the line to the next station, Puri, where we really hope that we can, remembering the 4 R's, rescue more railway runaways and reunite them with their families. Thank you so much.